people, we are back. I just have to clean your face. You got some grub on it. Ah, that's better. Look at you. Shiny, sparkling. Ah, wonderful. A sight to behold. Actually, I'm looking at myself, but still. Hello, welcome to this YouTube live. My voice is being echoed in my handpan. This is always so really confusing. I don't know if you're seeing this, but Robert, here's my wee dog. Say hi, Robert. Hi, Robert. See, he said hi. He is actually on my right, but this image is reversed, so this could be really interesting. But we're here on YouTube for a live session. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited to be here hanging out with you. So as usual, it always takes a few minutes for people to sort of land on this link and this page, basically because they get notified, and then it's like ding, and Abbie's doing a live, and people are like, should we do that? Let's just finish our cup of tea first, and then they join. So pending arrival of many new awesome people, but all of you are here, and that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. So I just put in the chat, which you can see on the side. It's over there, but the image is being reversed. Maybe it's over there, maybe it's down there, maybe it's up there. I don't know. But there is a chat somewhere in the sphere of the page that you are on. That is where you can communicate directly with me and other awesome people. You can tip tap and type whatever you want. Hopefully good things, please. This is a safe and sacred space for us all to come together and commune in a shared passion for the great outdoors. My job is to entertain you, partly, but also to be vulnerable and share my life and have a wee bit of a conversation. So I'm very excited to be here. And I am tuning in currently from my dad's house, hence the sofa. I do not have a sofa in my van, sadly, because I live in my van now. That happened. I haven't done a live session on here on YouTube since March, people. March. Do you know when that was? That was a while ago. Like a lot of life has happened for moi between now and March. Like I can't cope with this reversed image. Is there a button? Can I unreverse my life? This is very... I can share a screen. You can share a screen? YouTube, you updated yourself. Whoa, people, this is exciting. So anyway, that's where I'm tuning in from, in Somerset. I would like to know where you're tuning in from. Let me know in the chat, wherever it is, where you're tuning in from. These live sessions, I seem to end up with like so much energy. I don't know where it comes from. I do think I should do more of these because then I think I would feel more trim. But no, I'm actually tuning in at my dad's house because I am animal sitting. Apologies if I start crying. I am an emotional person. I have learnt to cry. But the truth is I'm actually allergic to the cat. Yes, there is a kitten who no doubt will at some point bombard my face, my body, my general personal space, and Robert's by jumping into it in some kind of kamikaze ninja move. And act like it's a totally normal thing to do. Because the cat is a kitten, but the cat weighs more than poor little Robert. Hey, Robert, do you mind if I share how much you weigh? Now, Robert weighs between 2.7 and 3 kilograms. 3 kilograms is on the heavy end of Robert's weight. This kitten, which is now just about over 6 months old, weighs 4 kilograms and is going to potentially get to 6 kilograms. That's a freaking dumbbell. That's not a cat. So, you know, that's all happening. So anyway, I'm house sitting and animal sitting because Dave, bless him, is on a holiday, which is great. Definitely a well-earned break for him and his lovely partner. So yeah, that's why I am here, being all streamy and allergic and tearful and sneezing and coughing throat and really enjoying it, looking after this cat. And Robert, hey? He's a little bit grumpy because he's just had his medication and he's due his dinner. And just to give you an insight into how my life goes. So I'm here to do a live session, right? I knew I was going to have this live session. I announced it a few days ago. It's like, cool, yeah, this is like my job. I'm going to show up for my community. We're going to have a deep, meaningful conversation. And then like 20 minutes ago, Bobby was in the sink and I was cutting poo off his bumhole because he pooed himself and got it all over his butt. So reality versus expectations. This is my life. So yeah, But that being said, me and Robert, we have a thing. He's 16. He's a good lad. Hey, Andy Bob. He's like, no, I'm enough of this. Here you go. Do you want to just disappear? Okay, he disappeared. That's good. He's gone now. Say bye, Robert. We have a thing. We deeply communicate, and like dogs are life. That's basically all you need to know about me. And then when it comes to cats, I'm trying to communicate with this animal and be like, right, let's get some discipline. Like, you're not climbing on the table. Like, you're not jumping out the window. Like, let's do this thing because we can do this together. Together, we're a team. And then the cat is then just a cat. And I don't know how to handle that because I don't speak cat, I speak dog. So what I really need to pose to you, this is the ultimate reason why I'm here, is to ask all 100 of you who are tuned in right now on this live session, are you a dog person? Oh, I wonder. Or are you a cat person? Let me know. Let me know in the chat section, wherever it is, who you are, because I'm curious. Anyway, this is all a side note. This is how I kill 5 minutes when everyone arrives, so that people can just land here. Oh, look, now the comment. Oh, this is it. People are landed. The dogs, the cats, the animals. That's okay. Right. So I'm here to not just to talk about my life in that way, but I can continue on this trend as long as necessary. I even wrote at the beginning of my notes, introduce with Bobby's butthole. Mission accomplished. Tick. Right, anyway. So I mentioned I haven't done a live session since March, and that is absolutely the truth. But it's also not. Oh, what? How does that work? Well, I've been steering away a little bit from YouTube, people, because big stuff has been happening in my life, and I've been really unsettled about bringing that into the public space. That is YouTube. But as you know, if you are subscribed to my newsletter, which you can subscribe to on my website now, as I yabber on about things, I have been doing a lot more conversational stuff and sharing a lot more intimate detail into my personal life through my social media platforms, but particularly Instagram. I'm really just trying to build things there. I had a really major operation a few months ago, 6 months ago now. Six months. And basically I was brave and I shared that on social media and what that meant for me and my life and how I interact with the world and am perceived by the world. And it's actually proved to be a really good thing for me. So I'm just gradually introducing that conversation into the YouTube space. But in the meantime, social media continues to be one of my more interactive places. I think also because it's very organic with the stories button. I can just literally click record like live in situ, and it's very easy to do. Like yesterday, I took Bobby out for a walk. Also, I did the GR20, and I've been back in the UK for a week now. And it's not been the easiest week of my entire life, and I've just had a little bit of a discussion around that. So if you are on social media and you fancy joining me, you can do that. This is a shameless plug because I work freaking hard, so why not? Here on the chat, boom, is my Instagram handle, Abbie Barnes Wild. Yeah, that's me. If you didn't know that, then now you do. Yeah, you can follow. Whatever that is, follow, right? You can follow me, boom, and yeah, get in on the banter. So that's basically where I've been, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because I did a live session, I think a month ago, maybe a bit longer, on Instagram, which was really successful. People asked questions and I answered them, and it was mega. Really enjoyed hanging out with everybody there. So thank you if you are one of those people. Cool. So what does that say? Oh, my notes also say, if you're happy and you're enjoying my live session so far, please do click like. I'd be very grateful for your support. Thank you. Okay, enough of this. Right. So, no, honestly, I'm actually here to give you a wee bit of an update. I haven't shown up on here, as I said, since March. You get random little videos that are being uploaded, some big videos, St. Cuthbert's Way, for example. But I actually want to talk about what has been going on this year for me. A bit of a download. I did this on Instagram a month or so ago when I did that session. As you can see, my frame of mind is really confused. But life has been busy this year. And I really want to share some of the more positive things, some of the more difficult things. I'm not going to go into a million billion bits of detail, but I will answer questions if you have them. So the way this works on the chat is basically I cannot multitask. In fact, multitasking has been debunked That's not news, but it is if you didn't know that. So here's some news. You can't actually multitask, you just task switch. So I task switch. When I end up reading the feed, I then completely lose my trail of thoughts. And I know it seems like I'm talking utter nonsense. I am. But there is some kind of logic to it. And I'm following that train line wherever it goes. I'm also not thinking hugely before I speak. So probably need to work on that one. But when I read the chat, then I get completely lost and I don't know what I'm doing. So if you have questions, you have to shout. You have to raise your voice. You have to own the fact that you want to know something proudly. And how you do that is you write it in capitals. Like Rachel Ann there is saying, loving that news, Abbie. Thank you so much. Hearts are always appreciated. Loving you too. Because it just means basically I can see things a little bit easier. I can digest that information and I can find it when I scroll through later on. So questions are welcome. Please do not be afraid to ask questions. I'm very grateful to have you here. And this is a vulnerable space. I know I throw it out there just like, oh yeah, vulnerability. But that is one of my missions here. That is why I set up Wild in the first place, is to bring the invisible, difficult things that we face in life into the light, into the visible places that we can see through conversation, through talking about them, through being vulnerable and living as authentically and bravely and courageously as I possibly can. And in the process, offering my hand, here you go, take it. Too slow. No, sorry. Take it. To offer you the opportunity to join me in doing that. This is our together time, and this is where we can be brave together. So I'm going to start. Somebody's asked a good question there. I'm going to come back to the questions, okay? Because I just started. Too slow. Sorry. So I want to start in March. So the year really for me began properly in March. March began with me daring to be brave. Yes. So let's just say I've had turbulent history when it comes to learning to trust people and knowing what is real and what is not real. My sense of reality, like what is legit, what is not legit. Like we don't need to go into that too much. But trusting people has been very difficult. And even in the most recent years, since Abbie Bikes Britain 2021, there were some really quite difficult situations where people that I really loved and trusted essentially went in my back. And it's taken a long time to bounce back from all of this. And that's okay, because I am bouncing back. And one of the ways that I did that was I trusted my gut. So I was, as you know, like last year, I started getting back into scuba diving to sort of challenge my fear of water. Then I had a diving accident where I nearly drowned and died, and I'm working on a video on that, so stay tuned for more. But anyway, Dave's here. Hi, Dave. That's nice. Yeah, so off the back of that diving accident, I lost my trust in people even more because that was a situation that really shouldn't have happened. But basically, I sort of vowed, right, I need to really trust my gut instinct here. I want to get diving more. I'm going to go to the Philippines with my dive club and I'm going to do some diving. And then my gut was like, no, you're not doing that. Why am I not doing that? You're not doing that because that's a very long way to go. There's a lot of carbon emissions. That just doesn't feel right. Like there's, what's the purpose? What's the bigger picture? How are you going to make this count? And I was like, well, I'm going to dive and I'm going to film it. And I was like, yeah, but are you really in the position to do that? What about the States? I'm like, well, what about the States? And I'm just lying in bed having this weird conversation with myself. I was like, something about the States. You should go to America. That's my gut. It sounds like it's been heavily smoking for 20 years, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go to America. That's cool. And so this Philippines trip, right, was meant to happen in March. And March this year. And this was all happening around like October time, I think. And the cat is here. Say hi, cat. Hi, cat. Help. No, he's a bit cute. And you're a bit cute. This is Marble. Yeah. I didn't actually get permission for you to be on the internet. Do you mind? So anyway, long story short, this wonderful person reaches out to me through Patreon and is like, oh, hey, y'all. I can't do an American accent. And then she's like, would you like to come to America? I'm like, yeah. How do I know you're not going to murder me? And then it's just like, oh, this person's cool. She's been on my Patreon since 2020 when I set it up. And long story short, I went to Utah. Yeah, it was amazing. So me and this lovely person, I don't know if I'm okay to share her name, so I won't right now. But maybe I should, because she's in the video. But I'll just ponder that. Anyway, unless she introduces herself with her broken arm, because that happened. Yeah, I flew out to Vegas. I flew out to Vegas, people. The Abbie Barnes went to Las Vegas. Turns out it's not Los Angeles. That's a different place. I did go. I didn't know they were different. Yeah. Oops. I'm like, I'm going to LA. And it's like, no, you're not, actually. So, yeah, that happened. Flew out to Las Vegas. We had a day in Vegas, or 12 hours in Vegas, or whatever it was. We got woken up at 3 a.m. with a fire alarm. That was interesting. And yeah, had a wee wander down. What's it called? The Strip. Yeah, the Strip. And that was actually, do you know what? In hindsight, it was very freaking cool, because I've been watching this national parks thing, and it's like, oh, I went there. Look at the water fountain. But we had an amazing conversation with this beautiful woman who was playing the guitar. She was battling cancer. That really sticks in my memory. And then we hired a Jeep, which was freaking awesome, and we drove around and did cool stuff. So we went to different national parks. I did cross-country skiing for the first time ever, which was amazing. When I'm really excited, my voice goes up. We went to Bryce, we went to Zion, we went to, where did we go? We went to the Valley of Fire, which is not Utah. We went to Capitol Reef National Park. We went to all sorts of amazing places. We saw petroglyphs and pictographs. We did walks. We did more walks. We did filming. I got to interview some of the absolutely beyond inspirational rangers and superintendents of these national parks to sort of discuss what it's actually like doing the work, being on the front line, sort of managing the interaction between human and nature and backcountry wilderness. Whoa, it was, there is not a single day that doesn't go by where I'm not reflecting on this trip and the vastness of the beauty of what we saw. Natural bridges, went there. So some state monuments as well, state parks rather. We battled snow, we battled the heat, we battled, what else did we battle? a key fob that ran out of battery almost. We didn't get stranded, but we could have. Yeah, it was the trip of a lifetime, quite frankly. 20 odd days. And I really feel like it's taught me some very, very empowering lessons in terms of just being who I am. Tuip, exactly. Thank you, Christina, my knight in shining armor, who invited me out there. Forever grateful. It's changed my life, quite frankly. So, if you're going to start a year, I really highly recommend by doing that, because it was great. It could only go one way from there, right? Straight and narrow, people. Yeah. So anyway, then I was bitten by a spider. Actually, this was before Utah, to be fair. I was bitten by a spider. Yeah. I live in the UK. I got bitten by a spider and it all got inflamed and I had to have antibiotics, and it was on my penny tattoo on my ankle. Has anyone else been bitten by a spider? Skills. That happened. I am now Spider-Man, so watch out, world. Yes. And then I came back from Utah, and I think it was a week or so later, maybe 2 weeks. I slept a lot of it. I went onto my first trail of the season. So, as you know, I'm big on backpacking. That's my thing. And I make films. So generally that means I need to go backpack to make those films. So the first trail that I did, and usually I start hiking sort of around April time, is I went to hike the Arran Coastal Way. So basically it's in Scotland. Arran is an island on the west coast of Scotland. And it took me, how long did it take me? I think 5 days. I sort of did a mixture of camping on campsites, wild camping, and youth hosteling. I completely winged the thing. I read the guidebook when I was on the ferry, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Arran is absolutely stunning. Has anyone else been to Arran? Has anyone else been to any Scottish islands? If so, where? And what did you think of them? Can you recommend any Scottish islands to add to my my list? Yeah, Scotland. Yes. So that happened. Did the Arran Coastal Path. And then I think a week or two later, maybe a few weeks later, I don't know what it was. Scale doesn't matter right now. I had a major operation. And I then spent the next 2 months recovering up in Scotland. This operation took place in Scotland because I was recovering in Scotland. um, it was a very positive operation for me in my life. I'm going to sneeze because I held the cat. Oops. um, I've shared about this on social media. As I've said, I'm not ready to sort of go into that right now here on this live session, but this operation has once again changed my life. This year has been a lot of life changing. And there's life before this operation and there's life after this operation. And I'm living as Abbie. I'm living as they, them, as a non-binary trans person. And I love it. It's amazing. And I feel deeply afraid every single day of just being myself, but also insanely grateful and happy and confident and free and just living as who I am as well. So that's really cool. And I've been sharing more about that in different ways and different avenues, generally like in situ situations, again on socials and just through conversations in different platforms. So that's been really crazy, actually, really crazy. So 3 weeks into my recovery, right after this operation, this is the next story. Yeah, phone call. Hello, is this Abbie? Yes, it is. Um, just so you know, you've been given 2 months to get out of your house. Uh, okay, I saw this coming. That's fine. So, wasn't allowed to drive for 6 weeks, right? Post-op. That's just how it goes. And my house with my partner, so our home, me and my partner's house. There we go, English. It was down on the Somerset Devon border. Exmoor National Park, right on the edge. As you know, we lived on a sheep farm. It was great, but also just hated it because the quality of living was so bad. Like the mold, the humidity was like 95%. It just didn't warm up because it was a really old stone building, single glazing, really poorly converted, yada, yada, yada. My health suffered. I would always get like some kind of chesty cough whenever I was there. I just was like sobbing on the plane every time I had to come back to the UK because I just didn't want to go back there. It was dark. It was just miserable. But on the other hand, it was our first home together. It was affordable in a sense of like the cost of rent in this country is extortionate and really depressing. And they hadn't raised it in the years, so it was just about affordable between the two of us. It had a beautiful view. It was in the countryside. I mean, there was a lot of perks, and it was a home. It was a base. But we were given notice to get out when I couldn't drive down. So basically, June was spent recovering in Scotland, and then July, as soon as I could, drove down to Somerset and was like, right then, let's get this sorted. So we started looking for places to move and sort of feeling into that. Now, if you've been on any of my wild walks or if you're part of my Patreon community or even just follow on social media again, you'll know that like my life is a little bit complicated in that there is absolutely zero routine. There's different countries involved in that in day-to-day life and the categorical things that make up life. And we were like feeling into this, like, are we going to move? And the system of renting in this country is really, really difficult if you're self-employed, especially because, basically you need references and you need an accountant. And I don't have an accountant because my accounts are not that complicated. So why would I pay anyone to do my accounts? Because that's just stupid and it doesn't make sense. Yada yada. And then we have a dog, Bobby. Of course, he's gonna ruin the doors and cause trouble. So it's really funny when you search like Scotland and you look at like houses for rent in your budget and then like I don't know 2 beds and like whatever, and then you put like accept dogs. It just goes from like 150 properties to two. So yeah, it's really difficult renting a property with a dog as a self-employed person. So long story short, we drove up to Northumberland. We looked at a few different places. Well, no, one different place there. And we didn't end up to finding anywhere. So end of July, we moved out. Different sort of situations with our stuff. I mean, I had actually already like was preempting us having to move out because quite frankly, I complained about the standard of living. And so like I wouldn't say I'm minimalist because I have a job, but I got rid of a lot of stuff, as in I sold things, I moved things on, and I was ready for this. So it was not like difficult in terms of the practicalities, but I've moved into my van now. So I'm in my van. My partner's doing her thing. We're meeting up in different places. That's personal story for a different conversation. But yeah, basically, my home is my van, unless I'm here doing this with these two animals. Sick of one of this. um, yeah, so that happens. That was July. Moving out, recovering. And then as soon as I could, I hit the trail again. Oh, yes, because we were into the summer season. So, you know, who needs a house when you have a backpack? Marble, leave Robert alone. Marble, leave Robert alone. I don't know how to like make it stop, so I just blow in. This is what he does. And poor Robert, he's blind and partially like deaf. And this what look, what? Oh god. Marble. Okay, he's actually behaving. He knows he's on the big screen, people. So yeah, I hit the trail. St. Cuthbert's Way. So I did this in partnership with Max Adventure and Trash Free Trails. This was part of their Purposeful Adventure campaign. It was really exciting because it's the first time in a long time I've actually done a route in partnership with another company. Basically, everything is self-funded normally, and I just save up for this, and I go and do things, and then put them on YouTube, and hopefully people like them, and I can have a career and help people and make a difference in the world and have a legacy and all of that. You know, no pressure. So that was really cool. St. Cuthbert's Way. It was amazing experience. The route is fantastic. I really recommend it. I would say do not underestimate the St. Cuthbert's Way. So if you have not watched that film, there is time, people, because we're not going to be here forever, and you just got to go click, watching, get the popcorn, bish, bash, bosh. St. Cuthbert's Way. That video is up. Yeah, I know. Who knew I could be that efficient? I did not. I will tell you that. I took a gamble, and it paid off because I'm so behind on my editing. Yes, I am. So, films that are to come. Outer Via 1, that is actually out on the 28th of this month. That is a Monday, 5 p.m. UK time. More popcorn! Ah, yes. Sweet or salty? That's the question. So, that one, Outer Via 1, that's the Italian Dolomites. I've got the Kungsleden, which is a 460-kilometer route in the north of Sweden, the Arctic Circle in Lapland, that I did last year, and I wish I was living on. It's home to me. There's the Oat route, which I did not complete, but that's a very interesting film to come to, actually. There is the Padjelanta-Leden, which is another Swedish trail that I did this year. There is, guys, what else is there? There is the Arran Coastal Way, that's to come. There is the GR20, which is supposed to be the hardest trail in Europe, which I literally just got off 1 month ago. Sorry, time, numbers, things. There's more. I just can't remember all the films I have to edit. What else did I do last year? There's definitely another one, which I feel really sad for now because I forgot it. But yeah, this year, so basically, St. Cuthbert's Way, then I had a little holiday with my fam up in Northumberland, which was mega. Well, basically, little Robert, hey, we just had a little holiday together. That was quite nice. And then we had the Armchair Adventure Festival. Oh, yes. So the Armchair Adventure Festival is based down in Cornwall on Mount Edgecombe, which I didn't realise you can get a ferry to. Also, what is this cat doing? It's breaking something. Yes, you can get a ferry too. So it was a very special experience, actually. The sun was shining. I spoke twice. Once I gave my own talk, and then I had a panel discussion, which I was on, which was all about mental health and outdoors. And that was the first time I publicly announced sort of my journey, my gender journey, my personal journey, sort of actually directly highlighted some of my struggles. In terms of like the migraines that I struggle with, the fear of water, like not in a case of like, woe is me, but a case of like, this is what I'm actively working through, and this is what I will achieve, and I am achieving en route. It's all about journey, right? So that was a really profound experience. Armchair Adventure Festival. I hung out with some really great friends. I made some new friends. It was wonderful, wonderful. I really recommend it. And if you were there, please can you help me lobby them so that I can come back next year, because I really want to do it. I'm excited, man. Anyway, after the Armchair Adventure Festival, this is my life, man. I went to Sweden. My favorite country, or is it Iceland? Do you have a favorite country? I would like to know what your favorite country is, if you have one. Yes. So I went back to Sweden. So the Kungsleden changed my life. That trail, 460 kilometers last year. Again, it was life before the Kungsleden, life after the Kungsleden. and I just had to go back again. I mean, before Utah, there was nothing. I couldn't stop thinking about it. In fact, when I was actually unconscious in the operating theatre, I don't know if you've had an operation or not, but they just basically go, well, we'll see you later. Like, you're not going to think of anything. I went to the Kungsleden, people. I was on that path in my unconscious state. It's like I died. And I was like, oh, this is all right. I'm happy to just be here. But I lived and I went back again. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I should go and do the Kungsleden the other way around. And in my Google searching, I found out there's lots of trails in the Arctic Circle, all of which I can't pronounce. So I found this one that I couldn't say, pad something. And I went out there and I travelled. It took a couple of days to get there, flew back out to Stockholm. I really like Stockholm, actually. And I got the train up to the north of Sweden into the Arctic Circle, and I landed back in Kvikkjokk, which is a very small settlement on the Kungsleden. And that is where the new trail I was going to hike begins. I learned how to say it. That was great. It's called the Padjelanteleden. Sorry if I said that really badly, but that is what it's called if you try to say it. So I went and did that. And I don't remember how far it was. I think it was like 117 miles, maybe less than that. Maybe it's kilometers. I don't know. But I was due to walk it in, I think, 5 or 6 days, maybe 6 days, while camping. There's huts en route, and I mean, I could just do a whole live session talking about these hikes. In fact, maybe I will. Maybe I will do a live session talking about hiking in Sweden, because I want to live there. Like, it's not even a joke. I really want to live there. I love that country. I love the people. I love the culture. I love the landscape. Stressfully emotional. But it was, once again, to add to the theme of like, oh, life changing. I met two absolutely amazing women who have become oh, sorry, the cat licked me. Don't lick me. I don't know what you're doing when you do that. Two people that became very good friends, are very good friends, and we're still in touch, and we've had a lot of love and laughter since. Absolutely great. I meet a lot of people on the trails that I do, as you can imagine. I'm a very talkative person. I'm not shy to sort of introduce myself or get to know people or whatever. And most people I never see again. I might have an old message exchange, but I'm hoping these two people will be in my life forever, because they're just so hilarious and great and good for me. So that was a real gift from the Padjelanta. And it was really funny because I went out there sort of really craving the solitude and the reindeers and the wilderness. And then it was like, I tried to get away from them. I really tried. But my gut, back with its husky voice, was like, you need these people. Do I? Yes, you need these people. So, yeah, here we are on WhatsApp hanging out. So that happened. Padjelanta. And the reason why I did that trail, I mean, I hadn't planned anything for this year. This is a completely ad hoc year. My operation was due to be sort of now, actually. And earlier in the year, I was like, I have to get on this now. Like, this mental health place is dark, is bad. And like, the only thing I'm looking forward to this year is my operation. I can't see through that or beyond that. So I shifted that to the beginning of the year, and then literally everything else I've done this year has just randomly fallen in place since then, because I've stayed open, I've stayed passionate, and I've shown up as best as I can, 100% with everything that's come my way. So the final trail, I didn't actually think it was going to be my final trail, but it is my final trail, that I tackled, I've mentioned it already, is the GR20. This route, again, I don't know how far it is, maybe 180 kilometers, goes from the north to the south of Corsica, which is an island in the Mediterranean owned by France. Ah, oui. It's said to be the hardest trail in Europe, and that is a lot to do with the technicality of the terrain. If you've done Kvikkjokk, if you've done Triffen, if you've done Sharp Edge, if you've done Swivel Edge, if you've done Striding Edge, it's basically all of these strung together over 2 weeks. What could go wrong? So I booked to do this route. Sorry, Robert, sorry. And I headed out there, and I actually felt pretty good. Like, given the fact that I'd had 2 months of training. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. The first day starts on 1,600 meters of ascent. It'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah. I did the GR20. I mean, again, if you got my newsletter, you'll know a little bit of an insight, but it was a freaking turbulent journey. The terrain was one thing, okay? It's tough. Like there's technical stuff. In fact, sometimes it's borderline mountaineering almost every single day. Snowdonia Slate Trail. Thank you, Sam Outdoors. That's the other video I need to edit. Thank you. Okay, back to the GR20. I like you. Thank you. You know my life better than I do. GR20. Yes, so technically it's difficult. There's a lot of scrambling. There's some real airy, exposed sections. Part of the routes have been diverted because people have died from rockfalls and landslides. But then the additional factors to that, right? You have the weather. Not just in the way that in the Alps you have the weather, but in the way that in Corsica you have the weather. Because Corsica does everything like this much more than everywhere else. So storms are very common in alpine environments. You've got the sort of heat and convection, and in the afternoon, the storm generally hits, and then it like showers down, and there's nice evening, nice sunset, dooby-doo, quite predictable. Yeah, and then there's Corsica. So we had some extreme storms. I'm talking tents being shredded by the hailstones coming down with such velocity that they literally puncture the tent fabric. Tents being washed away by floods being caused by the velocity, the volume of the water coming down from the rain. I'm talking refuges flooding, like on and on it goes. It was absolutely ridiculous. Other things you face, bed bugs. I didn't get them, but a lot of people were worried about them. I also got really sick. I got some gastro bug thing. There is not a lot of drinking water on the route. You have to filter it all. And then the problem with that is, usually there's only water at the refuges, and then the water stops working, and then everyone's pooping and peeing all around camp, and then you're drinking the water and thinking a little filter is gonna fix everything. Yeah, I got quite sick and I had to keep up with my itinerary because I had bookings. So I had to come off the trail, I had to hitch, I had to get a bus, I had and keep up with it. In fact, one day I walked on the trail, decided that I wasn't well enough the next day, so then I had to walk back 8 hours, and on it goes. So that happened. Yeah, that was tough. And also just being vegetarian in Corsica is really quite difficult. So a lot of the refuges you can pay for sort of 3-course meals, but many of them didn't have vegetarian options. If they did, it was like, here, have some cheese and bread. It's like, thanks, that's very French, but I need to walk a long way and carry 18 kilograms in. Please. Yeah. So actually it was fine. I'm really I'm proud of myself because a lot of people use it as an excuse. I'm going to be bold and say an excuse that it's hard being veggie when you travel. It's like, well, just put some effort in and eat some green things. And if you can't find green things, eat cheese. Yeah. No, honestly, I'm vegan or plant-based. But when I travel, I do tend to morph into being more veggie because avoiding milk-based things can be quite challenging. So yeah, and it's all for ethical and environmental reasons. When you can literally see the coos roaming around the hills, and that's the cheese, then it's like, yeah. And like somebody just said, cheese is the answer to many things in life. I have to say, I agree. So GR20, I lived. Yeah. That was ridiculous. Oh, and a lot of my kit broke as well. Yeah. Oh, and I did the Cirque de la Solitude, which is a route that was closed after numerous hikers died with this massive landslide. I did it with a guide. That was also really scary. Yeah, anxiety. I'm really proud that I did it. I really am proud that I did it because on numerous occasions I was like sending messages / on the phone to people like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, but I did it because I said I would, so I did. And also I made some really good decisions because there is wisdom to be gained or to be what's the word I'm looking for? Like tapping into wisdom. It's not always about being hot-headed and doing every section of every trail because that's what you have to do. It's like if you're sick, you're sick. Like the goal at number one, first and foremost, always is to stay alive. Then also being a sort of presenter, I guess, like I'm a role model and I want to set an example. And yes, I turned off the trail. I missed some days. Am I crying over that? No. I'm alive. So thanks. It was a great decision. So I'm really happy with that. And as excuse me, I'm about to swear for people who don't like that. As my coach says, a dead hero is a shit hero. So I lived. Yeah, I got my cape on. I got my hat on. All was good in the hood. So GR20. Then After that, since I was already on Corsica, my girlfriend was paragliding because she's freaking badass in the north of Corsica, and we met up and had a holiday, an actual holiday. That was really nice. I was exhausted for most of it, but that worked well for her. We did some good walks. Got to experience the absolute raw beauty of the coastline and some mountain villages in Corsica, on Corsica. If you haven't been to Corsica, I really recommend it. It's freaking expensive, but if you can just get off the beaten track, which is quite easy, like there's figs growing everywhere, there's avocado trees, there's dogs. There's a lot of dogs. One dog came and sat in our car and just sat in the driver's seat, and it was like, okay, cool. And other dogs, we did like a 9-mile walk, and these two stray dogs, joined us for the whole thing, and it was amazing. So I love that because dogs. Just back to the way that this episode began. So yeah, GR20, and now I need a drink because I just told you my year. Cup of tea. So now, what now? That's a fantastic question. Well, currently, as I've said right at the beginning, I'm animal sitting. So I'm here. I'm editing my Alta Via 1 video, Italian Dolomites. That is going to go on to YouTube on the 28th of October. So make sure you've got your alarm set for that. I'm really excited for this one. It's very bizarre because so much has happened between last year's trails and now. Like normally I have a very intimate connection with the footage that I'm watching, and this time I feel a little bit like disjointed. So yeah, I'm getting a bit refreshed with that. I'm also just trying to do a bit of like health and healing. I'm playing my handpan a lot. You know, I've been working really hard this season on this content and these shoots. So just some general like nice stuff. I'm trying to read. I'm enjoying reading a lot more. And yeah, basically cracking on with work. So other things that we're working on with Wild. I've got a bushcraft weekend. Oh yes, bushcraft. That involves knives and fires and axes and stuff, right? Oh yes, it does. So the 8th to the 10th of November down here in Devon, bushcraft weekend. Anyone can come along. It's going to be with an amazing guy called Jono. It's not Yono. I thought his name was Yono because in Scandinavia J is like Y, and I said, "Hey Yono," and he's like, "It's Jono." I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry." So Jono, he's great. He's a real character. Yeah, really, really cool guy. He's going to be leading it, just like last year. We'll be doing all sorts of different skills: pit pottery, fire starting, safe tool use, shelter building, different things. You can see it on the website. And I am also going to be bringing in some of my forest bathing skills because whilst we were moving out of our house, I did some training. And I learned about forest bathing. I learned about different mindfulness techniques that we can adapt and implement into our life, daily life, actually, through nature and through time spent in nature. So my goal is to sort of just really balance it out, I think, a little bit with that. You're right, buddy. Sorry. He has a cough, and that's why he has his medication. Yes, so if you can join us, it would be absolutely amazing. Like my real goal for the weekend, Bobby, this is my spiel. Yes. My real goal for the weekend is rejuvenation, is connection. It's about connection with self and the natural world and with other like-minded people and with our hands. You know, how much time do we spend on screens? We're on screens now. We could be wielding an axe. Maybe you are. Help if you are. But yeah, it's supposed to be a really down-to-earth experience where we're coming together, we're learning some basic skills, and the idea is that it's really foundational to then taking your bushcraft skills further. So yes, it's a bit of an introduction to bushcraft, so you really don't need to have even held a knife, an axe, or anything else before. But if you also have, that's okay, because the amazing thing about Jono and myself and the people who are going to be there is that we can take this wherever we want to take it. It's going to be completely led by the people on that course. And it's a really small, intimate group, so the spaces are really limited. If you can join us 8th to the 10th of November, please, 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 I've shared the link. Would love to have you there. Cool. So also that weekend, on the 9th, the Saturday, I'm launching my winter sale. Oh, yes. So as you know, many of you know, I have these wild t-shirts made of recycled plastic or recycled polyester. I don't know. these are my classic Stay Wild t-shirts. These have been on sale for many, many years. I've sold thousands of them all over the world. Still, my best location is Svalbard. Can you beat Svalbard? I went to Svalbard. That's amazing. Yeah, and then I have my hoodies, and then we've had buffs, and we've been trying different things. We've got bottles, we've got bushcraft knives, whittling knives on there. And basically not every season, every shoulder season, so sort of spring, autumn, I have a big sale of a limited edition color. So as well as these black ones, people have been able to purchase electric orange, which is like this, but more electric and bright, and you need sunglasses to look at it. We've had plum. We've had and we've just had earthy green, which is my favorite actually, this springtime. And now my amazing Patreon community have just voted for a Hawaiian blue. Yeah, Hawaiian blue. That's what's coming next. So that is going to be out as a sale, as a limited edition sale on the 9th of November. My Patreon community are going to get early access, so we'll just have to see what you can get if you're not on Patreon. And legitimately, like once they're gone, they're gone. But also because my supplier just has such limited numbers that I can't redo things. But if you have 5 colors, because I know a lot of you are really dedicated to the cause here, because all of these funds go straight back into helping me to help other people and helping us to build connections with the natural world and get outside for mental and physical health. Many of you have supported me and you've bought these colors. So you've got the black, you've got the plum, you've got the electric orange, you've got the earthy green, and soon you will have the Hawaiian blue. That is 5 colors. 5 colors. That's freaking cool, man. If you've got those 5 colors, and you can prove that to me, whether it's for email or social media planning, and however we're going to work on that, don't you worry. I have a pretty exciting reward for you coming up, which is literally exclusive to people who have 5 colors of my t-shirt. So yeah, I'm excited about this, man. We're into new horizons, new territories. And also I am going to be doing one final stock resupply of the stuff that I have, and then I'm pulling it. Yeah, I'm done with the store. I'm not really, that's a joke. But but basically the way I'm gonna be doing my store is running it slightly differently. Having stock obviously takes up a lot of space, and my goal is to actually do multiple sales each year, and then when things are gone, they're gone until the next sale. It's just more time efficient, it's more space efficient, and that's basically the plan. So yeah, really excited about that. But that doesn't actually involve you or the garage where the things are kept. I just told you that for some reason. I'm going to be at the Kendall Mountain Festival. Are you? That's in November. I'm also going to be speaking at the Adventure Mind Conference, which is where professionals come together to talk about mental health and adventures and the outdoors and how we can get this into social prescribing and all sorts of different elements. It's amazing, foundational, inspirational fun. Be there if you can. But Kendall Mountain Festival is also just an open for public thing. I'm going to be doing a really short talk with Max Adventure on their stage. I'm hoping to land something else, but it's probably a little bit late. But either way, I'll be roaming around for the day, the Saturday. So if you're there, come and hang out. Make sure you got your t-shirts on because they will be out by then. I'm expecting representation. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So that was basically November. And I'm just going to be editing. I'm not sure yet which, well, I'm going to try and get the Kungsleden, which was 3 weeks of hiking and filming, out for Christmas, New Year time, because that's, really when my biggest, proudest films go out. And we'll see where we go from there. So there's a lot of editing. I'm working hard on my training. I'm continuing to sort of work on my cardiovascular fitness, my endurance, but also my strength. Did you know I cannot do a pull-up? I've never been able to do a pull-up. I'm working on doing a pull-up. It's really difficult because of my fascial injury in my neck back thing, I don't have proper feeling in my rotator cuffs, and sort of my whole trapezius area is more just pain rather than feeling. So it's really difficult to sort of get movements right. And ultimately other muscles, like particularly my shoulders, like they've compensated for so many years that I literally can't get that movement. I don't have the strength to do a pull-up. So my goal is to do a pull-up. It has to be a pull-up. I can't do a chin-up because I broke my elbow as a kid, and sort of that reverse hold, and even just holding my arm out like that, like I can feel the it hurts. But yeah, I really want to do a pull-up. So that's something I'm working on. So I'm doing a lot of like petit rows with my bands and things. Yeah, and I'm never saying never. And to top it all off, I'm going to Cornwall. Woohoo! No, I'm going down to Cornwall. I've got a really exciting partnership with a brand that I passionately believe in, who are all about helping people get outside. But here's the twist, the turn. Oh, the wave into the water. Yes, they do. This brand is called Fourth Element. It's a completely casual thing, but basically they have come on board off the back of the Armchair Adventure Festival to help me get back into the water after my diving accident, after the fear is completely ramped up, ultra extra levels. So that's something very exciting that I'm going to be filming, documenting. We'll see when I get that movie out. I'm trying to be more efficient with my uploading. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I just continue to send newsletters. I continue to chip away at my amazing Patreon community. I've got some fireside events there, which ultimately are like group coaching sessions. So the first session that I'm sort of picking back up now that I'm back off the GR20 is all about after action reviews. So when I come off the trail, how do I analyze the route and how it went? Did it go to plan? What didn't go to plan? And sort of dissect that a little bit with the goal of obviously progressing and having a more insightful and grounded experience on the next trail. So if you'd like to join that, that is something that's open to anybody. In fact, if you've even got £3 a month to spare that you could just help donate essentially towards Wild and my mission here, then I would be eternally grateful. There's the link there. You don't have to, there's no pressure. I want to keep my content for free forever, but this just helps me to do that and sustain what I'm doing. I really, really appreciate it. But anyway, folks, I am going to start to wrap up here because Robert is getting, I want my dinner. Are you hungry? I was going to play you my hand pan, but I'm realizing that the audio is probably absolutely horrendous. What's a quid? A quid is slang for a pound. Not a euro, not a dollar, a pound. That's what a quid is. Yeah. So I know some of you have asked questions. I'm just going to take 5 minutes, scroll through, look for those questions. Remember, if you have questions and you didn't write them in capitals, please write them again now and I will see them. So I'm going to scroll right back up to the top and let's see me scrolling. I do this every time. Rachel has shouted, meow. Thank you. Lots of dog people, dog and horse people. Very good. Robert, I'm not going to be long now, okay? Any wild walks planned? So I've answered that question in terms of I have my bushcraft weekend coming up. I actually have a very serious situation going on with my wild walks. And I think I mentioned this on Instagram. A major landowner here in the UK has basically said, you can't do that without giving us money. They like to market themselves as a charity. They're not a charity. A lot of people pay to be members of them. And apparently I have to pay to take people out on well-being walks on their land to offer a source of education, inspiration, and hope. So I'm currently trying to figure out what to do because they're the largest owner of a particular type of land in England. Yeah, it's really, really knocked me. This also happened during my recovery period. So basically, that's why my wild walks have stopped because it's not because I can't run wild walks. It's because I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I can't afford to pay the fee or the permission, whatever it is, thing. I'm trying to work out if I can go public with this news. Is this going to end up with a legal situation? Like, I don't know. So fun. Run your own business. Be a small business trying to make a difference, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah, about that. I don't have a team. It's just me. This is me sat on the floor in the living room of my dad's house because I don't have a house with my dog and a cat on my lap. This is as real as it gets, people. There's nothing fake about this. I had to clean poo off of his butthole 20 minutes before this session. This is as real as it gets. Next question. How is recovery going? Really well. Thank you. Recovery is going really well. Not just physically, but mentally. Physical is the easy bit. Yeah, but mentally, really good. So thank you. Are you sure you're safe to be navigating? Yes. Will you be visiting North Wales? I would love to take you on my new favourite walk. Oh, Karen, yes, I would like to come to North Wales. We'll see what we can do. I mean, you've heard how busy the year is, but North Wales always has allure and appeal, and I'd love to see your new walk. So thank you for asking me there. Robert, not long now, okay? Been bitten by a ladybird. That is definitely a one-up on a spider. I hope you're okay. I knew you were a ladybird, really. Okay, scroll on. Dreamies can help. This person's brilliant. Right. Would love to discuss migraine treatment with you. I really suffer with them too. Okay, if you're on socials, drop me a message. If you're on email, you can do admin@spendmoretimeinthewild.co.uk and I will pick that up at some point. I'm notoriously terrible with emails, but I will see it and we'll go from there. Right, nearly there. Robbie, I know you're hungry. I'm hungry too, you know. There's two of us in this relationship. It's give and take. Did you ever go back to the Isle of Wight and complete the coastal path? I have not. I literally have not been back to the Isle of Wight since whenever it was, 2015, that I did that trail, maybe 17. So that's on the to-do list. What navigation device do you use? I use a device called Hiker. That's Hiker with 2 I's. And I use OS Maps. So I use Hiker for my long distance stuff. You can track your routes. You can download everything offline. You can create your own routes. It's great. I love it. But then I also use OS Maps for more UK based stuff. But then OS Maps is also on Hiker. So win-win. Okay, here we go. We've got a few questions here at the bottom, and then we will. The cat's licking me again. We will wrap this up. Did you celebrate Candy Day while you were in Sweden? No, I did not. But yesterday was Cinnamon Bun Day, and I am mourning the fact that I was not there for that. I do have a quick. Is it normal to get calf pain when walking? I get lower calf pain real bad for the first 25 to 30 minutes of walking, but then it goes away. Sorry for shouting. Yeah. Ow, my ears. Calm down. Do you warm up? That's my first question. How many people actually warm up before they go for a walk? Like, we really should warm up before going for a walk. Just doing some gentle mobility work, getting the blood pumping a little bit. Maybe that will help. But maybe you also just potentially have tight tendons in your possibly your hamstring and your quads, but also down towards your ankles. So I would really just prioritize getting that entire limb moving. And maybe that would help, but I don't feel like I have the time to give this the full concentrated package that I can, because I have lots of questions for you in order to be able to say anything. But that's my first port of call that I would just say is give yourself a proper warm-up time, and some mobility time. And then also, when you're not walking, prioritize working on your calf muscles. Maybe it's a bit of strength building if you feel there's a bit of weakness. Maybe it's the mobility if you feel like it's mobility. Maybe it's stability. Motor skills. How often do we train motor skills? I'm talking balance. A really cool thing we can do for our ankle strength is balancing on one leg, okay, for 1 minute. So here's your leg. So you're standing up, right? Then you balance on one leg, and the other leg you sort of bend like this. So you got it like this, but you get that knee, I can't do it with my fingers, as high as you possibly can, and you hold it for 1 minute, and you balance, and then you swap, and you repeat that a couple of times, and do that a few times a week. That's going to really help on your ankle strength, and that's something I actively train. So maybe that'll help. I don't know. When you come to Cornwall, give me a shout. Yes, I will. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining 5-Star Storyteller. That's really, 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 really appreciated. You literally have no idea. Thank you. You're a hero. It's amazing. Galloway National Park. I need to look into this. Thank you, James. I will look into this. Okay, last couple of things. I do flamingo impression quite regularly. Very good. Hello from Germany. Hello to Germany. And would you consider doing the Great Outdoors Challenge? Yeah, a few people have asked that, and I've met a few people on it. So I do think I need to look into this. It could be also really cool if I just go, I'm doing the Great Outdoor Challenge. Does anyone want to join? And we just do it. Like, who's up for that? I'm up for that. Right. Notebook is closed. Dog needs feeding. Human needs feeding. Evening needs wrapping up. Folks, you're amazing. I just want to thank you. not just for showing up for me, but showing up for yourself. Because hopefully you've got some form of amusement, maybe education, maybe inspiration off the back of hanging out of here. You see this chat? These are all people who are interested in a similar thing here. People who want to build on themselves and build on their connection with the natural world, with their physical bodies, and with other people. Like, this is a community, and I'm trying to figure out how to handle this. Like, it really is just me. I'm trying to figure out how to grow this. It really is just me, but I want to make a difference, and part of how I can do that is literally having you all show up. So thank you for doing that for yourself and for me and Robert and the cat. Here's the cat. Hi, cat. Hi. How do cats talk? Hello. You shall not pass. It's just got really weird. It's past my bedtime. It's not. It could be, but it's not. All right. Big love to you all, folks. Keep believing, keep getting up, keep getting out. And until next time, which will be on the 28th of October, out of year 1. Woohoo! Stay wild. I'll see y'all soon. Cheerio. Bye. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Okay, bye.